Episode 4 of Season 7 continues today, Friday, August 15th, from the Roxo Media House studio in Fort Worth. I'm Savannah Arevalo, your host for this week's Frog Today show. Fall sports are in full swing with football, volleyball, and women's soccer. Our Carter boys just wrapped up Day 12 of Fall Camp 2025 and are just 17 days away from opening night on the road at North Carolina. Opening night came a little earlier for the number 9 ranked women's soccer team, who hosted Pepperdine last night at the Garvey Rosenthal Soccer Stadium, and our top 25 volleyball team gets to show off their hard work in the summer in preseason camp with the annual purple-white scrimmage on Sunday in the Schollmaire at 4 p.m. Before that, get to the Sam Baugh Indoor Practice Field at 2 p.m. for the annual Meet the Frogs event with the entire 2025 football team, players, and coaches on hand for pictures and autographs. Move-in day across campus has been going on all week as the first day of classes start Monday. You can feel and hear the spirit across campus as the rest of our teams hit the ground running for the 2025-2026 seasons are upon us. We've got a great show for you today, Frog Nation. Women's soccer star forward Seven Castain is in studio to talk about her successful summer, preparing for her season, her expectations, and what the future looks like for her. We have volleyball newcomers, fifth-year transfer Foti, and freshman Samara Coleman, and finally, a special treat for us as TCU men's tennis alum and ATP World Top 50 Jake Fearnley joins the show to talk about his incredible rise from ranked number 277 and all the way to number 49, from center court at Wimbledon against the greatest tennis player of all time, Novak Djokovic, to a third-round match at Roland Garros at the French Open, taking on former TCU alum and countryman Cam Norrie. You don't want to miss this one. All that and much more after this quick break and a word from our friends at Richard's Rainwater. The best tasting water comes straight from the sky, leaving just pure, refreshing raindrops in every bottle. Taste the difference. Sip the sky.
The origin of the purest water the planet has to offer? Clouds, aka nature's original water source. At Richard's, we found a simple process to collect each magical drop, filter it, and pour it into infinitely renewable aluminum cans and glass bottles, leaving for all the purest, best-tasting water. Straight from the source, the clouds. When we drink the rain, it's good for all, people and the earth. So taste for yourself and sip the sky. Richard's Rainwater.
Welcome back into our Roxo Media House studio in Clear Fork. I'm Savannah Arevalo, your Frogs Today host. Spirit is loud and proud across campus. You can hear the band getting ramped up from one end of the campus to the other, along with our spirit groups. Our Rangers were leading our women's soccer team on the sidelines last night. Super Frog as well. Our cheer team and our showgirls getting ready for Monday Night Football in a little over a couple weeks. I was blessed to make the TC Showgirls team this season and look forward to getting on those iconic steps in the Carter. Nothing like fall sports here in Fort Worth. Frog Today has been bringing you daily coverage of Football Fall Camp 2025 since day one, and the depth and effort we have seen from the boys in the last 12 days is noticeable, and head coach Sonny Dykes and coordinators Kendall Briles and Andy Avalos like what they see so far.
What I like from this group has just been the effort's been consistent. Yeah, and some of the frustration that happens naturally sometimes is with the young players. You know, you go, we looked bad, we did this, we turned the ball over, and then you look and it's, some young guys that are doing it. And so you just have to keep it all in perspective. But I think the most important thing that I like is I do think we're getting better. And I think that's ultimately the most important thing is that you leave the field a little better than you took it. And when you go and look at 7 practices in, I'm confident that we've done that.
With what's going on the field right now and how they're competing and how they're playing, there's plenty of things that we need to get cleaned up and we've got to keep growing and all that. But it's fun to see what they're doing on the field right now. It's different, and you would expect that in year number 2. They know the system. They know the details of it, and now they're able to focus more too on learning offense and how. Our defensive schematics when we're in certain things and how they apply to offenses and what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses. And the thing that's really exciting to see is what happens before we get on the field in the process and the habits these guys have now and how they prepare and study and how they work together. And they're here early and asking questions and ready to go when we get on the field. It's a fun group to work with.
retaining information this time of year, I mean, they're playing football basically all year. So you're so much further ahead than you've ever been. We've got a lot of guys that are highly intelligent that, worked really hard in June with the installs and what we gave them to work on. And so now it's implemented, got right in. So we're able to put in quite a bit of stuff right now. We've got some situational stuff we've been working on in the low red, high red, and then some third and longs and third and mediums. So there's been quite a bit of install the last couple of practices, but the guys they're doing good.
The team is in the Carter tomorrow evening before their Meet the Frogs event at the Sandbar Indoor Practice Field on Sunday at 2 p.m. The event is free and open to the public. Moving from football to football, our women's soccer team took down Pepperdine last night at home to open the season with a win. Great start for last year's Big 12 regular season champion. The team heads on the road down south to San Antonio to take on UTSA Sunday evening at 7:30 p.m. You can catch that one on ESPN+.
Anything that you consider your craft or your passion, you have to put your all into. You have to put all of your time and dedication into it. And so with soccer, with my other passion, writing, I genuinely put all the time that I have into those things because I want to be the best at them. And I think honestly, just the encouragement of hey, if you do that, you can be the best, really drives that. And I think soccer is just such a cool game. There's so many nuances to it, like any sport. But I think just seeing all the hard work that I put in and the dedication, actually bear fruit, is the coolest thing in the world.
In studio now, senior forward, all Big 12, All-American, and Big 12 co-leader in goals scored last year with 13, and to add to that, she was the Golden Boot winner for her Utah United team over the summer, helping her team win the USL W League Championship with 21 goals. Named the league's Player of the Year, Seven Castain had a remarkable summer.
It was definitely a different experience. I usually play with my old club team, Avalanche, their WPSL team. And this year in January, I got a call and they were like, hey, we're putting together a USL team. We want to get all the best girls in Utah, put them on a team together and really compete. And I think I was a little hesitant just because it was our inaugural season. So it was going to be a lot of new things and new environments and all of that stuff. And honestly, they did a really good job. They gave us a great training environment. We really did get all of the best girls. And so it was really competitive in training. And honestly, I think the training environment was actually more competitive than some of our games because, we did have games where we beat people 18-0. But I honestly think the best part of the entire summer was literally just the girls. I've played around these girls for, 10 years, played with them and against them, and have never gotten time to get to know some of them. And so it was nice to just get to know new people, and it honestly made it a very comfortable environment to grow in. And that's my biggest thing with the summer is I just want to improve and grow because a lot of times my summer reflects what my fall is going to look like.
Seven is going into her senior year, and from the moment she has stepped foot on campus in Fort Worth, she has played in every single game, and with a year left is third in the program in goals and second in points. She made the All-Big 12 freshman team as a rookie and an All-Big 12 player every year since then, as well as an All-American. She mentioned defying the odds throughout her career at TCU.
Honestly, I feel my parents talk about this with me a lot, but if you would have told me as an incoming freshman that I was going to be an All-American, played every single game of my career, scored 22 goals right now, I'd be you're lying. That couldn't be me. And so I think looking back on it, there's definitely been moments and years and months that have been really, really hard. College soccer is just a hard environment. It takes a lot of you out of you mentally and physically, but I've accomplished so much, and I think there's something so cool about seeing all the hardship that you go through just to get to where you are now. So I like to tell people that honestly, yes, my career has been very up and down, and it maybe hasn't looked like that from the outside, but you can go from being someone who wasn't gonna even see the field their first semester as a spring incoming freshman to an All-American in 3 years. It's fully possible. So I honestly think my entire career at TCU has literally been defying the odds. I would like to think of it that way, yeah.
She doesn't waste one moment or opportunity and gives everything of herself on her own at team training and in games. Castain talked about setting goals with her dad and wanting to be the best at everything she does.
I think all of it just comes down to discipline. I go out to the field almost every day, as long as it's not a game day. I'm out there every morning before classes, before whatever else we have, and I'm out there shooting, getting 60 to 100 reps in spaces that I know I like to be in. I have my sweet spot. I love that. right side whipped ball into the far corner. Like, so everything that I do tries to get me back to my sweet spots, like the areas I know I'm very strong. And all of those strengths come from seriously like repetition. Like, it's preparation, and that's where like all of my confidence comes from as well, is like knowing like, hey, I've prepared for like every single moment. And then I think the other thing that like helps me be in the right place at the right time is honestly like watching film, mental coaching. I talk to a psychologist like every 2 weeks. If you talk about any of the best players in the world, whether it's football, basketball, whatever it is, they all have mental coaches, because 90% of your game is in between your ears. So that's kind of what I was talking about earlier with like being even keeled, staying consistent mentally. So like a lot of that like helps, because as a forward, like 90% of the shots you take, you miss. Me and my dad did the numbers last year, and for every 5 shots you take, you should get about 1 goal. And so it's kind of like putting things into perspectives that I can understand. So for me, like I'm a big numbers person, very routine oriented. So it's like, okay, every single game, 5 shots, probably going to get a goal in there. And some games you're going to be a lot more efficient than others. So some games I'm going to have 3 shots and score 2 goals. And some games you're going to have 7 shots and score none. And so eventually it all kind of evens out. But I think the biggest thing is like working on the areas that I see in games from watching film, like, hey, like where am I getting the ball a lot, and like maybe not capitalizing on opportunities that I should be. And so I think just constantly putting what I see into my game, into my trainings, has really like helped me grow over time. Everything I do, I want to be the best at. Like my parents love to joke with me that like I don't like doing anything that I'm not good at. So like bowling, golfing, I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like I'm bad at it. I want to win. And so I think it honestly has like come from like myself a little bit, but I also think it's come from like standards and expectations my parents put on me from an early age of like, hey, like if you're gonna go out and do something, like you're not gonna get a participation award for everything. Like you gotta go out there, do your best, and like eventually you'll come up with a win, like those kinds of things. Like anything that like you consider your craft or your passion, like you have to put your all into. You have to put all of your time and dedication into it. And so like with soccer, with like my other passion, writing, like I genuinely put all the time that I have into those things because I want to be the best at them. And I think honestly, just like the encouragement of like, hey, like if you do that, like you can be the best, like really like drives that. And I think soccer is just such a cool game. There's so many nuances to it, like any sport, but I think just like seeing like all the hard work that I put in and like the dedication, like actually like bear fruit, like is the coolest thing in the world.
Seven wears her heart on her sleeve and plays with a confident swagger, which attributes to her consistency in training and in games. As she prepares to go to battle, she mentioned not to let her thoughts take control.
I'm a very routine-oriented human, so it actually like starts before I step on the field. After we go to pregame, I typically go home and I spend like 20 minutes journaling, talk about my gratitudes, my wants. I write down things that I want to let go of. So if I had a bad practice or I missed a bad shot last game, like letting go of those things, positive affirmations, telling myself like, hey, I can score on anyone. Like I was built for these moments. Like that I've done everything I can to prepare. Success is coming my way. Like just putting those like positive things like out into the universe and like kind of like radiating that positivity like really helps me. And then I write down my goals. Typically it's 5 shots a game. Sometimes it'll be other things, like honestly just giving my 100% effort the whole time. Like kind of depends on like what game it is and what the moment's calling for. I also meditate before every game. It helps me calm my mind and honestly like gets me into a zone where it's like, okay, like now it's game time. And then the last thing that I do is I typically watch a highlight reel of myself before stepping out on the field to remind me of like, hey, these are all the things that you're good at. Here's all the moments where you've shown up big. Like, here's all the things that you are capable of doing, so that when I step out on that field, like, I know that I've done everything in, like, my hands to, like, possibly prepare myself for this moment. So by the time I step out on the field, like, I'm, like, so calm. Like, I like to tell myself to have that confident swagger where, like, I know I'm the best player on the field. And so I think I try to go into every game like that. And, like, my psychologist always tells me that, like, the moments where we do the best are the moments where we're not thinking. The second that you start letting your thoughts like take control, you typically start making mistakes because you're overthinking things. So I really try to just let my body do what it's gonna do and like keep my mind a quiet place.
With a great season last year, co-leading the Big 12 in goals, scored with 13, 5 of those were game winners and 4 of those against Colorado, giving her team a strong hold on the lead in the Big 12. She's grateful and confident going into her final season with the Frogs, but knew there was a lot left on her table. Her junior season, looking forward to this season being as mentally locked in as possible. She alluded to this upcoming season as a bonus and, in her words, the dessert.
feel like this like last year is like dessert for me. It's like bonus. Kind of like I said earlier, like I feel like I've accomplished a lot of the things that I want to, but there's like still things that like I'm kind of like itching for, like improvements that I want to be made. And honestly, I feel like you look at the 13 goals and 6 assists last year and you're like, oh wow, she had a great year. But like, I know I left so much on the table. Like, I know that there's 10 more goals I probably should have picked up. And so I think going into this year, it's like, hey, you've accomplished so much. Like, I'm not like desperate to like get something that I haven't already gotten. Like, I can kind of go into this year like grateful and confident with where I'm at, and like looking at last year being like, okay, like the skill has always been there. That's not the issue. It's really just like how consistent can you stay? Like how mentally locked in can I stay for 6 months? And so I'm honestly going into this year with like an air of gratitude. Like I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to have played every single game here. Like I'm grateful for my teammates. Like I don't want to spend this year like upset about something that like doesn't matter. Like I really just want to enjoy this year. And so I think that's the best way to describe like what I'm looking forward to is like spending time with my teammates, my roommates, my coaches. I mean, everybody here has been like family to me, and like I genuinely have grown so much as a person here. Like I can't really explain like who I was compared to who I am now just in 3.5 years.
In the 3 weeks prior to preseason camp this summer, she was extremely excited on how the team went about preparing for fall camp, especially with 17 new players, but it gave the team a chance to set their own standards to align with the culture of TCU soccer.
I definitely didn't realize how much our seniors did for us last year and the years before. But I mean, it's been fun. I definitely think that like one of the things that you have to consider about these 3 weeks of summer is like, this is your time as a team to set your own standards. Like the coaches come in with their own, but there's team standards that we have like within our team that maybe the coaches don't know about or they don't care about as much because it's not something on the field. And so I think from that standpoint, like we've really had to like kind of hammer those into them. Like, hey, like this is how we do things here. This is the type of team we want to be. But from a soccer perspective, I mean, it's been so fun. We have so many creative new players who are excited to be here and who work hard. And so it's been fun, like kind of like getting to learn new players and like combining with new people, especially for me. I'm like, okay, like who do I work best with? And so it definitely makes me really excited. But it's been a lot of hard work. I think we've put in a lot of good work over these 3 weeks.
TCU soccer is a development ground to the next level, and there are pro frogs all over the world, from Denmark to Iceland, to Mexico, to the NWSL and USL Super League, to our senior women's national team, and the next step will be on her mind for the next 6 months.
How you perform in your last season is typically going to affect how getting signed goes, but being a professional athlete has always been the dream. And I think early on, like as a freshman, like coming in my first spring and like getting into this environment and realizing like, oh wow, like the speed of play is like way faster than I thought it was going to be. Like I was unprepared, because you really can't prepare for college the same way that people think that you can prepare for anything else. It didn't seem like a realistic like dream for me at that time, but like with each year it's become closer and closer and more realistic. And so I mean, it's always in the back of my mind, like I'm always prepping for it, but I think the biggest thing for me is really come down to like I just want to be the best player and person I can possibly be. And so it's like every day I'm taking steps towards that, and like if I'm doing that, then I'm going to get to where I want to go. And realistically, like that is the pros, but like it doesn't stop there. Like you don't get signed and then it's like, okay, well I've made it. Like every day you continue to work, because the pro environment is literally just college but a level higher. Like I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be the new kid all over again, like regardless of where I end up. You're gonna have to learn again. There's gonna be girls that are better than you. Like it's always just a learning experience, but I'm super excited for it. And like I said, like I think taking this season of like, hey, like I'm grateful to be in an environment that I'm comfortable with, where I know the coaches, I know my teammates, like, and like you just get to play with people you love before things start getting crazy and things change again.
I think we all know now why Seven has been so successful during her time at TCU. She's played every single match of her entire collegiate career, and the future remains bright for this incredible, motivated, passionate, and intense human being. The team was picked to finish first in the Big 12 preseason poll, and Seven was one of the 3 players named to the preseason All-Big 12 team, along with Morgan Brown and Bella Diorio. And along with that, the United Soccer Coaches Association tabbed her and Diorio as forwards to watch. Katana Norman, Quinn Cornog, Morgan Brown, and Cindy Becerra were also among the players to watch as defenders and midfielders. After this quick break, we are joined by world top 50 professional tennis player and TCU men's tennis alum, Jake Fearnley. We will be right back.
Energy does everything for us. It's all-encompassing.
We're all benefiting and affected from it.
And it is something that we all need to know about.
It is the glue that holds everything together.
TCU is powering what matters, our future.
We don't just talk about what's needed, we focus on results.
The Ralph Lowe Energy Institute is creating a world where energy is affordable, sustainable, and reliable.
I mean, yeah, it was honestly, it was the cherry on top. I think, yeah, I don't think I could have thought of a better way to do it. You know, I thought that year the team was so close. We'd had, like, I was injured throughout the year. Jack was playing amazing, like Seb was injured, you know, we had a lot of adversity that as a team we had to overcome, including the coaches. And we weren't really sure what was going to happen, and we almost at that time felt that, like, we had a strong enough team to do it, like this was our chance, and we just had to go and take it, and to finish on top like we did was, yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable. I'm still thinking about it now, it gives me goosebumps, honestly, but yeah, no, it was an incredible way to leave TCU.
From the purple courts to the grass, clay and hard surfaces at tennis Grand Slams, we have an exclusive interview with ATP Top 50 professional tennis player Jake Fearnley. Fearnley won a national championship with TCU men's tennis in 2024, and then a month later is playing on center court at the championships at Wimbledon.
I think everyone will have their own different kind of stories and stuff, but I can speak on myself, and a lot of people ask me, you know, like when I'm playing in front of these big crowds, like they say, like the college, like especially at TCU, like we played in some amazing crowds, and Radidi always did an amazing job of getting people to the games, and honestly, yeah, it helped massively, you know. I mean, a month out of college, I was playing Novak Djokovic on center court in front of 15,000 people, you know, and if I wasn't exposed to those kind of environments in college, little bit hostile environments, people screaming, people yelling, you know, fighting next to your friends, you know, I probably wouldn't have dealt with it as well as I did. So yeah, 100%, I think that the college kind of layout, as you will, and the matches that you play, it 100% helps. And to touch on, yeah, what you said about like the national championships, I think winning is huge, you know, to know that you can kind of get over the line in those big moments. And obviously it's a little different because you have your team as well, even if you have a bad day, but still to win and to feel confident winning and getting over tough moments in the pro tour is huge. Overcoming adversity and dealing with it in a kind of mature and calm way is really important.
Fearnley won just about every award at TCU in his 5 years in Fort Worth. He dominated the purple courts at the Bayard Friedman Tennis Center with all Big 12 and All-American honors every single season. Let's add 2 ITA Indoor National Championships and an NCAA National Championship.
Obviously, when you come in as a freshman, you always want to kind of put your stamp on the program and also really benefit from the program. I mean, for me, it was really clear like what I wanted to do. And I knew I wanted to go to college since I was 15, and I knew what I wanted out of a college. And in the recruiting process, it was pretty clear that TCU was going to give me that best opportunity to improve my tennis game. And I think over the 5 years in college, it was really cool for me to see, and I also think for the coaches to see how much I improved. Like they're really, like maybe they could see some potential in the first couple years, but then it wasn't really until my 4th year that I really started to try and make some jumps and really find like my level on the tennis court and things to really click, which I think is a testament to college tennis as a whole, because everyone has different paths. That's kind of what I've been telling myself since I was a young age, and for me it took about 4 or 5 years in college to find my tennis and to find my love for the game. And yeah, it basically just took working really hard every day with Devin, with David, with the rest of the guys, and yeah, it was an amazing experience for me.
A week after hoisting the national championship trophy, he's back home in Great Britain winning qualifiers, and then got the call into the main draw at Wimbledon, the greatest tennis Grand Slam in the world.
I got back from college, maybe first week of June, and then I got a wild card into qualifying for a challenger in Nottingham. I won 7-6 in the third, not playing very good at all in first round qualies. I mean, the other guy I was playing good, but still just managed to scrape through, and then ended up winning the tournament. And this, obviously it's on grass, but it was honestly one of the biggest challengers, like a lot of high ranked players that I had to beat, and ended up winning the tournament. And then about 3 days later, the wild card kind of conversations come up, and you're expecting a call from Leon Smith, who's basically the head of men's tennis. He's Davis Cup captain, and he called me and he basically said, like, I love having these conversations, because I also think he has to have some tough conversations during the day, with people maybe not getting wild cards. So I was like, wow, this is incredible. I mean, 2 weeks ago I was still in college, and then now I'm getting an opportunity to play in Wimbledon. So that was kind of the timeline. And then a week later I was playing my first round match.
From stepping in the grass at Wimbledon to the first round, to seeing the scoreboard on court 9, who his next opponent would be, arguably, the best tennis player ever to play the game, Novak Djokovic, before his first round match was over, mind you, to stepping on center court for the first time.
Wimbledon's a bit different because it's like a proper club, like US Open, where the members bit is, the players bit, you can kind of just walk on, whereas Wimbledon you can't, because they have, I don't know, royalty or someone there, so you can't just walk in. So I had to get someone to kind of usher me down on Wednesday, the day before, just so that I could see center court, so I wasn't going in there blind. And obviously, because it's a grass court, they don't want anyone really playing on it. So I wasn't able to warm up on it. I saw it on Wednesday, and then the next time I saw it was when I was walking on court. So that's a little bit scary, because there is still a little bit of unknown about really what's going on and what I'm going to expect, because seeing the stands empty and then seeing them full, it's very different. But yeah, I mean, it was an incredible experience. Obviously playing Novak Djokovic, is maybe the greatest tennis player of all time. So being able to share the court with him and kind of feel what it's like to play someone like that, who's had the most success in the game ever on the men's side, is pretty incredible. And it's an experience that I can definitely take for the rest of my life, because I may never get the chance to play him again. And I was happy that I was able to play a legend of the game like Roger, Rafa, or Novak, because obviously they're all kind of starting to retire. So I was happy that I was able to play Novak before he retired.
Fearnley was down 2 sets, 6-4, 6-4, and then came alive, winning the third after being a breakdown, and then the hometown crowd was all on his side.
I think everyone loves the underdog, especially if they're from the UK, and they just want to see good tennis at the end of the day. I don't think any of them were expecting me to win, or at least I hope not. That would be stupid. But I think to have their support and to see the way they were reacting to some of my shots and really getting behind me, it was pretty cool. I mean, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to be, like getting really into the crowd, but I notice it, and it was a really, really cool experience for me, just to feel the backing of the center court against him, because I needed it for sure. I wasn't expecting to play lights out tennis from the start. I knew that there was going to be nerves, and maybe I wasn't going to be playing my best tennis, and it was also very windy that day, so it was a bit challenging. But I've been watching Novak since I was like so young, and I also knew that he didn't love the wind so much either. So I thought that, okay, maybe there's a little chance here. But I remember kind of start of the third set, I started to kind of release the shoulders a little bit and really start feeling like I was playing more of my tennis, and I still even went a break down in the third set and played a great game to bring it back, and then went on to win the third. And then I actually thought I was playing some better tennis in the fourth set, and it got to the point where at 5-all in the third, I kind of looked at where I was and just kind of froze. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm in the fourth set on center court against Djokovic, and I just threw in some some errors, and then the match was done pretty quick after that. I think when you play a guy as experienced as him and a guy who's been in so many tough moments, he's just waiting for you to just like be off the ball for a second, and then he runs away with it. So that was also cool to see, because I kind of knew what was going on, but there wasn't really much I could do about it because I'd already given him too much.
Even though he didn't pull that second round match out, he started climbing the rankings with challenger wins and eventually moved from 277 in the world to 49. Jake talked about how he climbed up in the rankings in such a short amount of time. In just less than a year into his professional tennis career, he climbed 200 plus spots.
After Wimbledon, we'll have a good experience, and then we're going to go play Futures in the UK. And all of a sudden, after that, I was ranked maybe 250, and the schedule completely changes. And all of a sudden now I ended up playing an ATP event the 2 weeks after, then into Challengers. So I kind of felt that I had to kind of get used to everything very quickly. And I think being able to have an experience like I did at Wimbledon, playing in front of big crowds, having to deal with tough moments, I think it helped me kind of, mature into playing kind of higher levels quicker, because I wasn't really expecting to shoot up as quickly as I did. But I think having those experience, playing those matches, beating really high players really set me up perfectly to make a big jump. Not quite as big as I thought, but I think that was a big reason for it. Going into the clay season, I hadn't really played on clay too much, and then to cap the clay season off against playing Cam in the third round on a crazy night. I mean, on that night, I don't know if you know, it was when PSG won the Champions League, so fireworks were going nuts. So it was so strange, because I felt like half the time the fans were cheering for the Champions League when they scored, and then cheering for us. So it was a really weird match, but it was really cool. I felt just from the media, I felt that it was really cool for the Frogs and for TCU, especially the TCU men's tennis program, to have two guys that have been through their program and really benefited from their program. And then playing in the third round, it was so cool, and I've looked up to Cam since I went to TCU. He's been a big role model for me, just to kind of show the path, going from college, working really hard with David, and then going on to do amazing things on the tour. So to get the chance to play him was pretty special, and obviously he was a bit too good for me on the day, but it was an amazing experience, and I enjoyed it a lot. I do feel it, the more tournaments you play, the bigger tournaments you play, especially Grand Slams, Masters 1000s, it just feels a little bit more than just the tennis sometimes, just because there is more cameras, there is more people walking around. But I mean, to be honest, I love it. It's you have to remember that this has been something that I've wanted to do since I was so young, and also just recognizing that's what it is. It's those cameras, those fans, they're never going to go away, so you may as well just enjoy it. And it's honestly, it's such a blessing to have people kind of know who you are, people wanting to watch you play, people wanting to interview you. It's honestly really cool, because it's kind of stuff that you think about. It would be cool to play in front of 10,000 people, and then to actually get the opportunity to do it is pretty incredible and still pretty surreal for me. I'm still learning a lot. I'm still can be so much better at it, just dealing with some tough moments in maybe higher tension situations. But no, it's an amazing experience. Yeah, I can't really put it into words, but it's incredible.
He talked about his experiences playing with current world #1 and #2 Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz, and beating them in juniors and hitting with the likes of Roger Federer. How those opportunities helped him grow.
I remember I hit with him about 4 or 5 times actually that week. The first 3 or 4 times I was in like a 3, so it was like me and one other guy, and then I warmed him up before his quarterfinal match, and I was so nervous. I remember I didn't have a coach with me for that match, and one of the guys who I knew, I was like, please, can you come on court with me, because I'm so nervous and I just want someone to talk to if I'm nervous. and to reassure me kind of that I was doing a good job, because, yeah, I mean, Roger Federer's huge, you know, he's just got a bit of a different aura about him, you know, especially at Wimbledon. Yeah, that was a crazy experience.
Jake Fearnley is now a world name from all his days of looking up to the top players in the game. Young kids, college players, and even other pros are looking up to him and how he has come on to the world tennis scene so quickly.
It's really special. I mean, I get messages a lot from people saying, you know, your rise has been really inspiring, and that's so cool as well. And yeah, if I try and put a good image out there, you know, I try and always talk nice, you know, work hard, act with respect on the court, and that's something that if people can see and people can learn from and say that kind of Jake goes about things in the right way, I think that's really cool to me. And yeah, to say that my journey has been inspiring is, yeah, it motivates me to do more and to keep trying to inspire kids and inspire people to take up tennis, to work hard and to see where tennis can take them.
From the grass at Wimbledon to the clay at Roland Garros to the hard surfaces at the Australian Open and the US Open, Jake talks about what it is like playing in a Grand Slam.
The best way I can describe it is that the most important thing in those big tournaments is to manage your energy. There's so much going on, there's so many people, there's so many players, and it's very easy to kind of get caught up with that and to kind of lose focus, maybe lose your energy a little bit. And one thing that I always try and do is honestly spend as little time as I can at the club, like at the site, and try and do other things, you know, whether it's playing on my DJ decks or going for a walk, going for a coffee. I always try and do things so that when I'm at the course, it's just business, you know. I'm practicing, I'm getting my strength in, my stretches, my physio, but then as soon as I'm done with that, like, I'm gone, you know, so that I'm not, you know, just wasting unnecessary energy. Because, yeah, I mean, obviously it's incredible to be there, but have to remember at the end of the day, you're going there to try and win. And I think that's the best way that I can do it, is just by not spending too much time there, because you have everything there, you know. You have unbelievable food, you have a hairdresser if you want it, you know, you have anything. And it's very easy to just spend the whole day there. But I've realized the more tournaments I've been at, that's not always the best move.
As we wrap up our time with Jake, we learned a little about how he takes his mind off of the game through his love of coffee and EDM music.
Yeah, I mean, the coffee thing, I mean, me and my coach Juan, he didn't really love coffee, but then I was like, it's something, you know, just something about just sitting in a coffee shop in a nice part of town I think is super relaxing. It kind of takes your mind off things. And so that was kind of what we said, that unless we find somewhere in a place that is just that good, we're going to go and find the best one in each place that we go. So every day we'll be like looking and we'll find like this one's got good reviews. Maybe ask the locals what they think, and then they'll kind of tell us, you know, which one, and then we'll find the one that hits. And then we'll keep going to that. But I'm big into my like kind of EDM music and stuff. And just for my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and my coach and my girlfriend, they chipped in on a little portable DJ deck. So that is quite funny. So that's something that I do in my spare time. I'm so bad at it, but it takes my mind off of it, and I just try and mix songs and have fun with it. And that's something that I do outside the tennis court now, which is it relaxes me a lot. So it's pretty cool.
Next up for Jake is the US Open, starting August 24th. What an incredible journey for Jake throughout college, at TCU, and as a professional tennis player. His incredible work effort has vaulted him up the rankings in a very short amount of time. Good luck to Jake as he prepares for his trip to the Big Apple. We got volleyball and some programming notes when we return.
Welcome to the Squire Shop.
We are locally owned and operated since 1994.
We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service.
We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that.
We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
Great stories coming out of tennis and soccer, and now we move to volleyball, and we have two newcomers that joined the program this year. One, a rookie who graduated early and came in the spring, and one who transferred from the beach program at Pepperdine. Foti, in her 5th year, started indoor at Marquette and was Big East all-freshman team, then joined the beach squad at Pepperdine, actually getting wins over UCLA and our TCU beach team. Foti talks about that transition.
From indoor to beach, it felt really nice on like the body in terms of not as many joint pains. I'm not hitting as much. It's more shotsy. So roll shotting, not doing as hard hits. And then back to indoor has been a little hard on the knees, but we have a great athletic trainer and nutrition staff and everything here, and they've been taking a really good care of me and everything. So.
Freshman Samara Coleman enrolled in January, and she talks about the importance of getting that extra semester in with the team.
Yeah, I think being here early really helped my leadership skills and just getting the standards down before the other freshmen got here. That way I can be like a leader to them and show them and help them kind of pave the way and show them so it's faster and easier for us to just get on track and so that we are able to compete and be a Final Four team.
Coleman gained a ton of experience coming in early, and Foti, in her 5th year, is an experienced vet. Both talk about the preseason so far.
It's been going well. I've had to transition, back to doing a little more position work with setting. I was kind of a right side mostly in college, but I was also a setter. That was what I was recruited for at Marquette, but they just kind of needed someone, and I was able to step into that role as a right side at Marquette. And so I'm just excited to kind of go back to my roots here and kind of just be whatever I need to be for this team in order to get them to the next level, to that Sweet 16. So
it's been long. It's been a long, rough few weeks, but rough in like the best way possible. We've been getting so much good work in. We're challenging ourselves in practice. We're not taking anything less than our best, honestly.
For us personally, we believe we can get to that next level, this team. And so it's kind of motivation where we can compete with these people. We just have to, train, be disciplined, follow kind of what these coaches are guiding us to do, and we can get there.
I love the fact that everyone's driven, everyone has goals, and there's not one person who isn't on board with everything. And you can just tell everyone's bought in just by everyone has great work ethics. It's an amazing culture to be on, and I think the coaches did a really good job letting us prove to ourselves we can do it and not holding our hand the whole time.
Ella is excited about joining Jason Williams' team and explains why she ended up in Fort Worth, what she looks to add to the program, and her first impressions of the team.
I think, honestly, experience. I think a lot of people feel this way. It's like you don't know unless you've been there. And being with a team at Marquette who's gone to the Sweet 16 twice, being able to win a couple Big East championships there, it's really true. And so I see something special in this team. I honestly do. The arms we have, the defensive tenacity we have, and just like we also have a lot of experience now. They've been there, and now let's finish this journey together. So
TCU volleyball is ranked number 25th in the preseason polls and 5th in the Big 12. Ella feels a little disrespected.
But having that, seeing that every day, keeping that in mind, it keeps that, in the back of our head. When we're tired, we're going through these two-a-days, we're doing all these workouts. What is the end goal of that? And, that first weekend is, so many times there's been teams kind of underdogs who've upset big teams. And so why can't it be us?
The Frogs have their annual purple and white scrimmage this Sunday at the Schollmaire at 4 p.m., but in just 16 days, they open on the road at Pitt and then meet up with the defending national champions, Penn State. That has added a little motivation for the group this preseason.
We have something to prove. Preseason polls came out. I think we honestly took that personal, seeing us at 25 and other competitors like BYU or other Big 12 teams up there. It was definitely some fuel. That was definitely fuel. And just everyone wants it. We all come from different areas, different schools, very diverse team. I think we all just want it that bad.
Get out there to the Scholl this Sunday at 4 p.m. and get a sneak peek at our volleyball team. Another event taking place on Sunday is the TCU Football Meet the Frogs annual event at 2 p.m. at the Sam Baugh Indoor Practice Field. Schedules are out for all our fall sports teams, including equestrian and rifle that were just announced, and our men's and women's golf teams start today as they prepare for opening on the West Coast at Spyglass and Pebble Beach over Labor Day weekend. School starts Monday, and we want to welcome everyone back to campus. Lastly, check out TCU's Only Here podcast hosted by Chancellor Daniel Pullen, who had head football coach Sonny Dykes as his first guest. You can find that on TCU social media channels and, of course, tcu.edu. That will do it for this week's episode of Frogs Today. I'm Savannah Arevalo, and it's been a pleasure hosting the show. Stay connected for dynamic, original content right here at Frogs Today. Make sure to follow us on all our socials and X and Instagram at Frogs Today, and of course our website at frogstoday.com. Thanks for watching. Go Frogs!